You're about to hear something that changes how you should read every disappointing weekend Lewis Hamilton has had in red. Ferrari has uncovered an internal problem that explains more than a few mysteries, and once you understand it, the confusion starts to make sense. Imagine joining a team as one of the greatest drivers of all time. You bring rhythm, feel, process, and a way of translating the track into development. Now imagine the tools the team gives you to practice and prepare are tuned around a different language. That's where this story begins. From the outside, you saw Hamilton grinding. Simulator hours, endless briefings, late-night debriefs. From the inside, he was doing everything right. But the bridge between his Mercedes instincts and Ferrari reality was broken. Ferrari's early analysis points to two linked revelations. The simulator architecture simply couldn't reproduce the exact braking and weight transfer behavior Hamilton needs, and the car's new braking layout responds in a much sharper, more digital way under threshold, a change that quietly strips away one of his most powerful weapons. If you drive by feel and your simulator shows one world while the car on track behaves another, you get setups that look great on paper and fall apart in FP1. That mismatch erodes confidence faster than any headline. It doesn't explode in a single bad lap. It whispers instability into every session. Unpredictable rotation, shifting braking markers, tire life that fades at the worst point in the lap. And because Hamilton builds performance on subtle feedback loops, that whisper becomes a canyon. For Ferrari, this diagnosis is huge because it turns criticism into clarity. This isn't just a slump, it's a measurable technical gap they can target. But the fix won't be a single overnight patch. It will force software rewrites, model retraining, and possibly hardware tweaks, all while the team juggles development and budget constraints. Before we go deeper, if you want more inside breakdowns like this, please subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us. Help us grow and reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers so we can bring more technical stories like this to you. Tell me below, do you think Hamilton can recover once Ferrari fixes these issues? Vote in the poll, yes or no, and leave a quick line in the comments explaining why. When you look closer at the simulator story, it becomes clear why. Ferrari's discovery shocked not only Hamilton, but the engineers too. The modern Formula One simulator is not just a flashy video game. It's the single most important tool a driver has between race weekends. Every braking point, every fuel load scenario, every corner rotation model is tested there before the car even touches the track. And yet, Ferrari's system had evolved over years around Charles Leclerc's driving language and legacy software layers. That means the machine was brilliant at echoing Leclerc's requests, but it struggled to mirror Hamilton's demands. Things like precise front-end pitch sensitivity, fine-tuned weight transfer tolerances, and complex brake phase modeling under changing track conditions. For someone like Lewis, who spent more than a decade shaping the Mercedes simulator into an extension of his instincts, this was like moving into a house where the light switches are all in the wrong place. Here's how that plays out on a race weekend. Hamilton runs endless simulations, finds a setup that feels balanced, and takes it to Friday practice. Suddenly, the real car reacts differently. The rear steps out earlier than expected, braking markers shift by a couple of meters, and corner rotation feels inconsistent. That disconnect kills confidence almost immediately. It's not that Hamilton forgot how to drive, it's that the very tool meant to prepare him is feeding him mismatched data. Imagine trying to paint a masterpiece when the colors on your palette change as soon as you touch the canvas. That's what Ferrari unintentionally handed him. And the result? Promising simulator setups collapse in FP1, he's forced to spend FP2 chasing stability instead of refining race pace, and qualifying becomes a gamble, where even a tiny misjudgment can mean dropping out in Q2 to a midfield team. This spiral isn't just technical, it's psychological. When you're a 7-time world champion, used to absolute trust between simulator and car, that trust, being broken, eats away at belief lap by lap. This is why Ferrari's acknowledgement matters so much. They're not just fixing numbers, they're fixing confidence. They need to rebuild that bridge so Hamilton feels the simulator as his weapon instead of his weakness. If they manage to do that, you'll see a very different Hamilton in red. But before we talk about the breaking discovery that turned this entire story on its head, I want to hear from you. Do you think Formula One teams lean too much on simulators? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments. And if you want more behind-the-scenes insights like this, make sure you hit subscribe and help us reach our target of 1,000 subscribers. That way, you won't miss the next update when we dive into the breaking revelation that shook Ferrari's season. Now let's dive into the breaking revelation, because this is where Ferrari's technical discovery turns from frustrating to truly disruptive for Lewis Hamilton. On the surface, the difference looked minor. A new Brembo braking layout on the SF25, designed to improve cooling efficiency and rear stability. But once Hamilton started running with it, the effect was anything but minor. Instead of a progressive, layered response, the kind he mastered at Mercedes, Ferrari's system delivered a sharper, almost digital feel. It was on or off, and for a driver who has built his entire career on using the brake not just to slow the car but to rotate it into corners, it was like having his strongest weapon taken away. Think about what that means on track. Hamilton has always been known for his ability to trail brake with precision, carrying speed deep into a corner while managing weight transfer onto the front tires. That subtle modulation is what allows him to rotate the car smoothly, set himself up for a clean exit, and preserve tire life in the process. With Ferrari's revised system, the feedback he relies on simply isn't there. The bite point hits harder, the pedal feel changes with temperature swings, and small shifts in ambient conditions turn consistency into guesswork. One session he's in control, the next, the car reacts like a completely different machine. This doesn't scream failure in obvious ways. Instead, it whispers instability. You see it in slightly longer stopping distances, in a rear end that suddenly snaps loose mid-entry, in tire degradation that accelerates over the final laps of a stint. Over a full race weekend, those whispers add up. A tenth lost here, 2/10 there, a qualifying lap that feels solid until a tiny lockup ruins Sector 3. And once again, confidence takes the hit. Hamilton has spent this season chasing that lost feel, rebuilding it day by day, only for it to slip away again when the track temperature shifts or the wind direction changes. The most telling part? Ferrari engineers now openly admit that this braking change has been at the core of Hamilton's struggle. Fred Vasseur himself hinted at it, framing his comments carefully, but making it clear that the small details fans often dismiss as excuses are actually measurable differences costing Ferrari real results. That acknowledgement changes the story. It validates what Hamilton has been feeling all along. But it also raises a bigger question. Should Ferrari adapt the car to Hamilton's strengths, or should Hamilton adapt his style to the car's DNA? That's the debate now echoing inside Maranello. Before we move into the cultural clash that makes this problem even harder to solve, I want your take. If you were Ferrari, would you re-engineer the braking system to suit Hamilton, or would you expect him to adapt to what they've built? Let me know in the comments and cast your vote in the poll. Fix the brakes or train the driver? And don't forget, subscribing helps us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers and keeps you connected to every twist in this story. Here's where the story becomes bigger than just hardware or software. It's about culture. Mercedes, Hamilton lived in an environment where problems were dissected like puzzles. Every irregularity in data was chased down, analyzed, and corrected in weeks. The team functioned like a high-tech laboratory, systematic, disciplined, and relentlessly detail-driven. It was a place where Hamilton's style thrived because the car became an extension of his feedback, almost like an instrument perfectly tuned to its musician. Ferrari, though, has always been different. The Scuderia is fueled not just by data, but by passion, tradition, and emotion. That energy is inspiring when things are going well, but when pressure mounts, it can spill over into volatility. At Ferrari, every debrief carries weight, every post-race interview becomes a statement, and every misstep can snowball into political tension. For Hamilton, who is used to cool precision and quick engineering responses, this cultural shift has been as challenging as the technical gaps themselves. You can already see the friction. Problems that might have been solved within weeks at Mercedes linger for months at Ferrari. The simulator mismatch took half a season to properly identify. The braking feel was brushed off initially as driver adaptation issues before being recognized as a core performance handicap. And all the while, Hamilton's frustration grew in private, while fans and pundits speculated publicly about decline, adaptation, or even regret. Fred Vasseur's recent comments, carefully worded yet revealing, weren't just about managing expectations. They were about protecting the long-term project. He knows this isn't just Hamilton's problem, it's Ferrari's. And if the experiment fails, it becomes a headline the team cannot afford. This is why the cultural contrast matters so much. Hamilton brings a mindset of control, precision, and relentless refinement. Ferrari offers passion, heritage, and fire. But can those two worlds blend fast enough to deliver results before the narrative turns toxic? That's the defining question heading into the rest of the season. Before we explore how Ferrari might actually fix these issues under a tight cost cap and a looming 2026 regulation change, I want your take. Which culture do you think fits Hamilton better? The clinical structure of Mercedes or the emotional heart of Ferrari? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't yet, please like this video and subscribe. Your support is vital in helping us hit our target of 1,000 subscribers and continue bringing you these inside stories. So, where does Ferrari go from here? Now that the issues are clear, the fixes are anything but simple. The simulator problem isn't like flipping a switch. It requires reprogramming core systems, retraining data models, and even redesigning the way simulations process Hamilton's unique feedback. That's a huge task, especially under the restrictions of the budget cap. On top of that, the braking issue may demand a brand new master cylinder, pedal mapping changes, or thermal recalibrations, all while Ferrari is already splitting resources to prepare for the 2026 regulations. It's a balancing act between solving today's problems and protecting tomorrow's future. For Hamilton, the challenge is just as demanding. He has to keep showing up, keep grinding through simulator sessions, and keep trusting a process that has yet to reward him with results. That's no small task when you've already won 103 races, 7 world titles, and built a career on trusting your instincts. Every tenth gained from these fixes will feel invisible to the outside world, but monumental inside the cockpit. Progress will come in margins so thin that only the stopwatch can measure them. Yet those margins are what separate podiums from midfield finishes. This is where the story shifts from failure to possibility. Ferrari's discovery gives Hamilton clarity. It explains the confusion, validates his frustrations, and provides a path forward. Now, if he and Ferrari can convert that clarity into performance, the narrative changes. Suddenly, it's not about decline, it's about redemption. A legend reborn in red, silencing critics, and proving that the gamble to join Ferrari wasn't a mistake, but the beginning of a new chapter in his career. But the clock is ticking. Can Ferrari adapt quickly enough? Will Hamilton regain the confidence that makes him unstoppable? And will this partnership become the rebirth of a champion or the cautionary tale of a dream that never came? Together, That's the drama that makes this story so gripping, and it's why you'll want to stay with us as the season unfolds. Before you go, I'd love to hear your prediction. Do you believe Hamilton will turn this season around and rewrite the story in Ferrari red, or is the struggle too steep to overcome? Drop your thoughts in the comments and vote in the poll. Redemption, setback, or too early to call. And remember, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Fast News F1 and hit the notification bell. Your subscription is very important to us, and with your help, we can reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers while bringing you more inside stories from Formula One.